Around mid-September of 2021, I binged a series by the name of The Ultimate Next Gen Full Dive RPG is Even Shittier Than Real Life, which I'll shorten as Kusoge Full Dive for brevity's sake. It's a series that I quickly came to love, and even to this day I highly recommend it to others. Before we start, I need to give a bit of background information to show you how I found myself doing a video on this topic. It's no secret that, when it comes to my viewing habits, I tend to watch things in its English dub first because I suffer from some minor, really annoying reading issues. So, while I was watching Kusoge Full Dive, I came across a certain scene that was really off. The scene in particular happens during the 7th episode of the anime in its dub, and what tipped me off to something being wrong with it was the fact that Hiro, the protagonist, was acting very clearly out of character. This prompted me to check out the same episode in its sub version, and it revealed to me what exactly was wrong, and that discovery really struck a nerve in me. You see, I don't really mind some localization changes here and there, as long as it still fits with the series, doesn't contradict anything that has already been laid out, and isn't insulting to the original. When people start discourse over localization changes, I usually find them really overblown and unwarranted, with a few exceptions of course. However, what I found completely went against that. It's probably the most egregious change I've ever seen a dub have, especially considering Funimation's previous fuck-ups. They changed a roughly 3 or 4 minute long scene entirely from what its original version was. In episode 7 of Kusoge Full Dive, Hiro has to deal with a crisis endangering the NPCs within the starter town of Kiwame Quest, and he ends up saving a little girl despite how weak he's shown to be throughout the series. This is such a major point in the story because beforehand, he would end up constantly failing to do anything worthy of note. Saving this little girl updates his title, and this is the point where the two versions split. In the dub, the title was changed to Attention Whore Best Friend Killer with a massive god complex. While that doesn't sound quite so bad out of context, the changes within the dialogue between the main characters greatly differ because of it, including their reactions being dulled because of what they censored. The subject of the censorship was a joke that was being built up to this point for the entirety of the anime to make fun of Hiro for being so thrilled that he actually succeeded at doing something. It might not have been to some people's liking because it was a crude joke, but there's no reason for it to be changed completely. You can argue that it wasn't a good joke because it hinged on you knowing about Hiro's naivete or how he misunderstands the design of the game he's been playing, but it was so perfectly executed within its original version. What was this joke, you ask? Well, in the subbed side of things, the title he gained is Lolita Complex Best Friend Killer. Homicide who likes little girls. So, yeah, they completely changed a scene because of a lolicon joke. The funniest thing about this is that it's probably one of the most tame ones you could see in a series, especially considering previous dubs keeping in objectively worse subject matter jokes than this. In the original version, the title completely repulses Hiro because the game took that excitement he had and ruined it, while the other main character just adds insult to injury to make him feel worse. The dub waters down the reactions to where Hiro is just mildly annoyed by being called someone with a god complex, while the other main character's jokes just do not fit the mood of the scene because of this change. It's insane to me that someone changed this entire scene to begin with because of such an inoffensive joke. Not only that, but it does a complete disservice to Kusoge Full Dive, and because of that, it has a great chance of scaring people off that were originally interested in the series. Whoever did this change to such a great anime doesn't deserve to be in this line of work. Kusoge Full Dive is already a really niche anime to begin with, and something like this will only cause people to avoid it. It's really heartbreaking to see that no one even called out the localization team about this when it was airing. This was a series that needed some sort of discourse to bring this censorship to people's attention, but I guess people would rather bitch about minor changes that don't even hurt anything because they're telling the same joke with a different wording in another series. The thing that pains me the most is the fact that there's nothing I can do for this anime at this point. If I watched this when it was freshly airing, I might have been able to help something, even with how small my reach is, but that's all in the past now. I'm just hoping that this will do something beneficial for a series that deserves way better.